You're not broken, you're not cursed. And no, success isn't only for the lucky or the talented. But let's be honest for a moment. You keep failing again and again, the same cycle on repeat. New goal, fresh start, motivation for a week, then crash and burn. Sound familiar? It's not just bad luck or poor timing, it's something deeper. And until you understand the real reason behind your failure, you're going to stay stuck right where you are. This video isn't about feel-good slogans or overnight hacks. It's about the raw truth, the uncomfortable patterns you've been living in, but also the exact mindset shifts and actions that can pull you out of the mess and into the win column. If you've ever whispered to yourself, "Why does this always happen to me?" Keep watching. The answer might change everything. Failure isn't the enemy, but repeated failure without growth, that's a warning. And if you're brutally honest with yourself, you'll see a pattern. Most people fail not because they aim too high, but because they never follow through. They get excited by the idea of change but never commit to the process. They crave the result but reject the discipline. They want the outcome without the identity that creates it. Let's break it down. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Every time you set a goal, whether it's getting in shape, building a business, or changing your life, you're making a promise to yourself. But here's the problem. You're trusting your future success to the version of you who hasn't changed. You say you want to wake up early, yet you still go to bed scrolling through your phone. You want to save money, but your habits whisper just this one thing. It's not the goal that's wrong. It's that the current you isn't built to achieve it yet. The invisible enemies, comfort and consistency. If failure had a favorite disguise, it would be comfort, because comfort feels good, safe, familiar. But that's exactly why it kills progress. You stay in the job you hate because it pays the bills. You avoid the gym because it's easier to stay on the couch. You skip the work because scrolling is easier than struggling. The real battle isn't with your dreams, it's with your comfort zone. And your brain is wired to keep you there. It's not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you from risk, from effort, from uncertainty. Consistency is another enemy, or more accurately, false consistency. Because you are consistent, just with the wrong behaviors. You're consistently distracted, consistently procrastinating, consistently talking yourself out of trying again, because what's the point? Until you break the pattern, your results won't change. Because outcomes follow behaviors, and behaviors follow identity. Let's clear something up. Motivation is a liar. It shows up loud and exciting, and then disappears when things get hard. If you only act when you feel motivated, you'll lose every single time. The truth is this: successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, routines, habits, discipline. They've learned to take action regardless of how they feel. You want to know the secret? It's boring. Success isn't about hype, it's about doing the small, unsexy things every day. Waking up early, planning your day, saying no to distractions, showing up even when no one's watching. Especially then, winners aren't more inspired, they're just more committed. How to break the cycle and start winning. So now that we've torn the mask off the reasons why you keep failing, let's talk about how to finally win. It starts with responsibility. Not blame, not guilt, but ownership. Your life is yours, and that's terrifying. But it's also your greatest power, because if it's your fault, it means it's also in your control. You can't change your past, but you can absolutely own your next move. The first real step is to shift from outcome obsession to identity transformation. Stop saying, "I want to be rich." Say, "I'm becoming the kind of person who builds wealth." Don't say, "I want to lose weight." Say, "I'm becoming someone who values health." Identity drives action. If you see yourself as disciplined, you'll act that way. If you still see yourself as lazy or unlucky, you'll sabotage everything. Build proof that you're not who you used to be. The game is won in the boring. Anyone can start. Few can endure. Can you show up when no one's clapping? Can you do the reps when the results are invisible? That's the test. There will be days when everything in you wants to quit, and you'll justify it. You'll say, "It's not working. Maybe this isn't for me." That's when you push harder, because every successful person has walked through that same storm and kept going. Make your habits non-negotiable. Brush your teeth whether you feel like it or not, right? Treat your goals the same way. Remove emotion from execution. Progress is a lagging indicator. Results don't come immediately, but they do come. If you outlast a resistance, you are being bombarded with noise, opinions, trends, shortcuts. One person says do this, another says do that, and while you're consuming all this advice, you're not moving. Clarity comes from action, not from scrolling. Choose one path. Stick with it long enough to learn, adjust, and grow. Don't jump ship every time it gets hard. Winners are stubborn with their goals and flexible with their strategies. Cut the noise, get quiet, listen to yourself. What do you want? What life are you building? Then get to work. Pain is a teacher, and you've been avoiding it for too long. You fail, and you numb. With food, with distractions, with excuses. But pain, when faced, becomes fuel. Let it wake you up. Let it remind you that something isn't right. Let it push you to demand more from yourself. Use it, don't hide from it. The most powerful transformations are born from discomfort. You don't change when you're cozy. You change when staying the same becomes too painful to bear. You weren't meant to do this alone. Isolation leads to excuses. Surround yourself with people who demand the best from you, who call you out when you slack, who remind you of your goals when you forget them. And once you build a little momentum, guard it with everything you have. Momentum is fragile. One skipped day can become 3. One excuse can become a habit. So protect your streak. Track your progress. Celebrate your effort, not just results. Build the habit of showing up. When you do that, success stops being a wish. It becomes inevitable. You've failed before. So what? Every winner has a long list of failures. The difference: they didn't build a home there. They used failure as feedback. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So forgive yourself. Not just once. Every time you fall short, get back up cleaner, sharper, better. Progress isn't linear. You'll stumble. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're growing. Forward is forward, even if it's slow. The harsh truth is this: nobody's coming to save you. Not your boss, not your parents, not the next podcast or video or book. It's on you. And that should excite you, because it means your future is unwritten, and you're holding the pen. The only thing standing between where you are and where you could be is the version of you that keeps quitting when it gets hard. So stop quitting. You don't need more motivation, you need a decision, a real one. Not the kind you make at 2 a.m. and forget by morning. A decision backed by action, backed by consistency, backed by the version of you that finally says, I'm done losing. It's time to win. And not someday now. You've failed, yes, but you've also survived every failure. You're still here, still breathing, still capable of rewriting the story. Use what you have. Build from the ashes. This time, don't just set goals. Become the person who can achieve them. Don't just chase success. Build a system that attracts it. You've spent enough time stuck, enough time doubting, enough time watching others pass you by. Now it's your turn. Not by luck, not by chance, by choice. You already know why you've been failing. Now you know how to win. What you do next, that's what matters most.